Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And tonight, we have a lot to talk about in the last 48 hours. The tariffs. Apparently, people are still confused about the Trump tariffs. Citizens, are you guys going to be ready? Because there's going to be retaliation from other countries as well. So where are the preppers at? Because you're going to have to start thinking about preparing yourself for shortages, transportation and supply chain shortages. And we got this and a whole bunch more to talk about tonight, and maybe even a special guest. You never know. And welcome. Stop Struggling Now gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. So I have an intro there. About 40 seconds. Oh, Stephen A. Smith? I don't know. But actually, I talk like that, but this only has football. So it don't sound like that when you're listening. Yeah, my volume's low. All right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you so much for being here. Once again, make sure you share the videos because you never know who's out here looking for information, who we can help. You know how we got to do it. A rising tide lifts all boats, and we want other people to succeed as well. So make sure everybody, whether you follow, whether you like or subscribe, make sure you let other people know. And sometimes people don't even know that they need the information. So there we go. Let me see who's in the house tonight. It looks like everybody here. Thank you so much. Victor Marrero, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving to all as well. It's another year, ladies and gentlemen. Time flies when you're having fun. So make sure you have an excellent time with your family tomorrow, and make sure you call your loved ones and be thankful for what you have, because it can always be worse. All right, let's see. Victor Marrero, he's here, of course. His tagline is "In tow, the retiree." Welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. And no longer with the icons, but the tagline's in tow. Hello, all. Let's do this. And that's what we plan to do, Victor Marrero. Let me know where you're going for your retirement after Thanksgiving, because I know you're going to be Mr. Worldwide. So you just came back from Puerto Rico. So that was cool, but let us know, because I know you're going to the Spain, Europe, somewhere like that. And make sure, everybody, you smash that like button. All right. Now, I'm glad you guys are here. That starts it off. Everybody on Instagram, thank you so much. Teresa Bell VAO7. Thank you so much. Make sure you guys hit that like, follow on Instagram as well, Twitch. I appreciate it. All right. Now, we had a little problem. I'll just let you know in the studio tonight. So I had everything queued up. So I'm just going to talk about, without going to the websites or anything like that. A lot of you have heard about the tariffs. The Trump tariffs is what I'm going to be calling it from now on. And I'm also going to be saying hashtag "we told you so" as well, because economics is history. Whenever you apply tariffs to anybody, any country applying tariffs to another country, the consumers of that country is going to pay extra. There is no way around it. No matter who says anything on TV, who says they're the financial wizard, if America places 25% tariffs on Mexico and on Canada, that means citizens of the United States are going to be paying minimum 25%, and unlikely 25%. Is going to be more like 30 or 40% more. Just what happened before in the late 2018, 2019, 2020, when we messed around with the tariffs. So if there's anybody that disagrees with me, the floor is always open. You know where to contact me. All right. So if anybody wants to comment, you can always come into the live streams, as you know. And if you want to make a comment in the chat room, please do so. All right. Let's go. Let me see. Victor Marrero, he has something to say. Eric, I received a message via email stating that there was an issue with Google Payment. Something about the site being down. My icon went away. Do you know why? I can send you the email. No, I do know why. I made a video earlier today, but it was just a video. In that video, I announced I have been demonetized as of yesterday. So your memberships with the icons and all that, I greatly appreciated, but you cannot make any payments for the membership when it comes up for renewal. So that is the message that you received. They said that I had used, it's called reuse. They said some of the videos or something that I used, I couldn't reuse it or something, and I had to put in an appeal, and they, of course, said the appeal was no go. So we're still working on it. And I have every confidence that I'll be reinstated. It just depends on when, whether it's going to be next week, next month, or 3 months from now, 90 days, like they said. It could be up to 90 days. So that's why you didn't get it. And normally it's Wealthy Wednesday night live stream with members only chat. So this is unusual because on Wednesday nights, only members were the only ones that can be in the chat room. So let's go. I guess Temu going out of business, said Mogul Matrix. Contraire, Mogul Matrix. Welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. Temu's not going out of business. Again, there's a trade imbalance. People in America make more than people in China per hour by 4 to 5 times to 10 times as much. So America is a consumer nation. It's very basic. It's simple. 25% on $2 isn't that much. But the price is going to go up in America. The retail price is going to be higher just because of that extra 50 cents, extra $5, extra $2. It does not matter to you here in America. An item being $15, $20. So what if it's $23 or $24? You're still going to buy it if you like it. This isn't anything that's going to be major coming from China. What's going to be major is if China puts tariffs on the United States. It costs more to make products in America than it does in China. So that means when American companies send products to Mexico, Canada, or China, our products by percentage, if we charge $50, now you add on 10% or 25%, that's potentially people's monthly wages when you have to pay $200 or $300 for something. So in other words, $50 it costs. They do a 10% retaliatory tariff. Now it's $55 to their citizens, plus whatever those companies have to add through the supply chain. So now their citizens who make less than $20,000 a year, the price going up 20% percentage-wise is significant to them. They don't have the money. So that matters. In America, we're a consumer nation. So a product going up from $15 to $18, no big deal. In fact, I can just prove it to you simply. When you go to, remember when you went to get some fast food and the menu items used to be $8, $7, $5 for your McDonald's combo meals, Chick-fil-A combo meals and all that? They were all under $10. The lines are still there when the price is $15 for these same meals. So the same thing's going to happen here in America. If things go up $5, you're still going to buy it. So Temu's not going to go out of business because that product's not made in America and it costs less than if it was going to be made in America. So they still win. And they win even more than that. And I'll get to that in a second. I'm going to tell you why they're going to win and why it's a problem, because not just what I talked about there, but the other problem is this. You have now caused a trade deficit with another country. So what happens when we have a trade deficit, and I'll use with Mexico, with Canada, but our big partner is China. So when you have a trade deficit with somebody, that causes your currency to be devalued. And the currency that's going to be devalued is American currency. Because now we don't send them the same amount of money for what they're sending to us. So I'll give an example. I don't know the actual number from China, but I can Google it, but we won't do that right now. But the point is, if we have a trade deficit with China of $1 trillion, all right, and we bought $1 billion, we bought $1 billion from China, okay, let's just put it simple. But they bought in China 500 million. That means we have a $500 million deficit, which is in their favor, not in our favor. So when you start doing this, that's another inflation point. So not only do you have the tariff that's going to cost us more, now our money's devalued. So now you're going to pay more money on inflation as well. That's what basically happened at the end of 2019, 2020 because of the tariffs in 2017 and the tax cuts and tax rates. The same scenario is going to happen again. So you can just count on it. It's 2025 and 2027 to 2028. You're going to be bitching about inflation. That's what's going to happen. So the question is, what are you going to do about it? Well, congratulations. You're sitting here and can't do a damn thing about it unless you own corporations. And they're not going to save you. So buckle up, cupcakes, and you're going to have to figure out how to make additional money. So does that mean 2 jobs? Does that mean extra money? Does that mean you're going to have stocks and get those dividend funds? That's what it means probably. You're going to have to get some passive income coming in from somewhere. All right, I have a special guest here, but I'm not going to bring him on. I just want to see, I'm just going to let you guys know, it's my dad's in the house. If he wants to come on, he can come on, but I just want to ask him something since he's here. He's in the crowd. Dad, what do you think about that tariff stuff I was saying?
The tariff is not a real good deal for the working man.
Yeah.
The tariff is good only for the people who at the top make the money because it doesn't bother them.
That's right.
You know, but the working man, people of lower income, the tariff it hurts them severely because the price of goods is going to be raised, and goods coming into this country will be raised in prices, and people can't afford it.
Exactly.
And that's my pitch on it.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And so my dad, he says that exactly right. But see, that's just the first domino that falls. The second domino was the one that I was speaking with Mogul Matrix when he said Temu's going out of business. Temu's not going out of business. They're going to make more money. Because remember the tariff, if 10%, they just add 10% on. And then the importers here who imported it in, they had to pay the 10%. They're happy. They got 10% more for the same product they're selling. So why are they going to have a problem? They're like laughing to the bank. That's crazy. But that's why I had to tell you about the offshoot of the trade deficit, which in turn devalues your dollar even more, the US dollar. So that means what used to cost you $100, tomorrow, if the 10% kicks in, devaluing could be $101, $102. But the fact of the matter is it keeps devaluing your currency. And then I have bad news for you all, because Trump and his minions, they did not go to any economic school whatsoever. Their minions somehow believe that putting tariffs on another country, that the other country is just going to go, oh, okay, we're good. They're going to retaliate. And in case anybody wants to go look down memory lane, all you have to do is go look at 1927, 1928, 1930, 1931, and America did the exact same thing. Isolationism. They started doing tariffs on everybody. You know what the rest of the world did? They started laughing, just like they're laughing now. The rest of the world said, okay, fine. We're just going to put tariffs on all you in America. All of us out here are going to put tariffs on you. So now you sell us your stuff. We ain't buying, because the rest of the world is 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 years old, and they've been doing trades for thousands of years. You're going to think they're going to let a little old America that's 500 years old disrupt their supply chains? They've been doing business with South America, Mexico, Central America, Asia before America was even thought of. So they can easily just say, hey, we can produce everything you can produce in America at a cheaper price. So they'll just do what China did. They're not going to buy from United States farmers. They're just going to go down to South America and buy from South American farmers for less. And then what happened? We had to go in 2020, 2019, we had to go give bailouts to farmers, and farmers went bankrupt. And then you guys wonder, why did our food prices go up when farmers are going bankrupt because of a freaking tariffs? See how this works, ladies and gentlemen? There's a cause and effect. So that's what's going to happen again. The rest of the world, just like Mexico already said, we're going to retaliate. Canada already said we're going to retaliate. China already said we're not going to buy from you, just like we did in 2019, 2018. So now what? We can't sell our products anywhere hardly in the world, but the rest of the world is going to block us, and then they're going to do business amongst themselves. Congratulations. Great recession, Great Depression, just like in 1932, 33, 34. Same thing is in play. And you got these minions out here acting stupid. Go look at your history books, ladies and gentlemen. You'll see the exact same thing that already happened. The roaring 20s, 1920s. We had the roaring 2010s to the 2020s. Stock market doubled under Obama. Stock market doubled under Trump. Stock market doubled under Biden. Roaring, last 13 years roaring. But then, just like 1929, 1928, all of a sudden these guys and clowns thought they were too big for their britches, and they started adding tariffs. And then isolationism occurred. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Same thing's going to happen again. Now, Victor Marrero, I thank you for putting in some of these dividends, because it's we might as well talk about yield max ETFs. Again, I'm going to ask you again, ladies and gentlemen, who here gets a 10% raise in about the next 45 days? When January 1st comes, who's going to get a 10% raise? Who's going to get a 20% or 25% raise? I don't think any of you are going to be able to raise your hands on this. Corporations aren't that nice. So now you already know fruits and vegetables from Mexico are going to go up 25%. Fruits and vegetables are good for you. A lot of people eat fruits and vegetables, and they're pricey now. I don't know if you guys been to the grocery store, but stuff that used to be like $1.50, $1.250, $2.250, that stuff is like $4.99 now. They're charging an arm and a leg for stuff that is ridiculous. You should be buying meats the way these things cost these days, and it's just going to get worse. And oh, by the way, you guys think you're going to be able to survive that first part? What about the second part? What happens if all of a sudden you don't have the workers in the farmlands in America? Forget about the stuff that comes from Mexico and stuff that comes from Canada and stuff that comes from China. That's right. We have food products that come from China, by the way. What's going to happen when you don't have anybody picking up that fruit in America from the farmers because of the deportation, or basically trying to run down immigrants, and immigrants go into hiding and don't go to work? You guys going to go down there and work for a bushel an hour and they're going to give you $2? Are you serious? No, you're not going to do it. So now there's going to be a supply chain issue. So your fruits and vegetables are even going to go up from that as another side piece. So again, keep messing around. It's going to be very, very bad. And we've already messed around. We voted for these clowns. All right. Victor Marrero says YBTC, YETH. He's giving me dividend stocks here, ladies and gentlemen. Some of these, in fact, the ones he's giving me right now, FEPI, AIPI, YBIT, SNOY, TSLY, for everybody on podcasts, are all paying over $1 dividends between today and Monday. Wow. He's right. We've talked about these for about a year and a half, and these pay monthly. The beauty of this is everybody, whether you have a little bit of money, disposable income, what you're going to need, just even if it's $50, $100, $200, great, start there. Because these stocks are all like, well, most of them are under $25 a share. So if you can get $1 per month and it's under $25 per share, you get $12. Do you understand? That's like 40%. Now, that's outrageous for dividends, but you have to understand what you're looking at. That's why you have to go study. That's why you go to yieldmaxetfs.com. All right. There's a link down below. If you don't have a brokerage account, open up a brokerage account. I got your Robinhood and Webull down below. Get your free shares of stock from them if you open up an account and use their app. You don't even have to upload money on Robinhood. You do have to upload at least $1 at Webull in order to get the 5 free shares or the 10 free shares. So it's pretty simple. All right. Now, once again, we always tell you to bring your pen, pads, and papers because you never know when somebody's going to drop some valuable information. So here's the thing. When he says $1 dividends between today and Monday, it's too late because the stock market is closed tomorrow. So just so everybody understands, there's ex-dividend dates when they give out the dividends. If you're going to be paid dividends, you have to own the stock by the ex-dividend date. So today was probably at least 2 of these or 3 of these, their ex-dividend date. So you could have bought today, and then on Monday, you would have received your first dividend, and then every month thereafter, they give out dividends. And so that's why we suggest, how are they able to do it? Go study. Remember, some of these are option income traded stocks. What that means is it's not backed by the stock. That's very important. It's not backed by the company. So when it's an option income stock, what they're doing is they're doing the option market, meaning calls and puts. And so when you do calls and puts, that means you make money based on if you're holding it, how long, if you sell it, and there's a fee. That fee for every call and put and any other option trading, that fee is where they get the profit from. So when a stock is hot, like Nvidia, like Tesla, all of a sudden they started going up, there's a lot of buying. So therefore, there's a lot of option trading going on because when it goes down during the day, people are selling. When it goes up during the day, people are selling. There's fees attached to that, and that's how they're making their money. And that's why their distribution can be 35%, 40% annually. That's where the money comes from. It's not backed by the stock itself. So you got to go do your own research. Why do I say that? Is because the stock isn't actually backed by the company. Therefore, the value is based on how much income is coming in, and the income can vary every month. So the stock price can fluctuate, and oftentimes because they're giving out 80 to 90% of the money in dividends, the stock price, you could say you could buy it at 20 as an example, but over the next 6 months, even though you're getting like 30, 40% return on your original investment, the stock price itself could go down like 10, 15, 20%. So you're still going to be ahead, but not by the full 40%, let's say, if that's what the distribution rate is. You'll be ahead by 20%, which is still pretty good. And that's why you got to go study the stocks themselves and see if that's something that interests you. But those are the option income trading, yieldmaxetfs.com. Go over there and see it. In fact, here's what I'm going to do right now. I'll just go over to YieldMax ETFs so you guys can, it'll scroll on the screen for you. So you can see the distribution, and then you can go study yourself. All right? Make it nice and easy for you. It's not that hard. Let's see here. And I'll end the what Victor Morel says about that when he says the ching, and he's over there doing the salsa dance. Yeah, half. So some of these guys, Brian P., Mr. Dividend, he has over 1,000 shares, 2,500 shares of things like TSLY, ULTY, things like that. And the last week, I can't even remember what the stock was, but it was crazy because of all the income coming in. It was $4.42 per share. And these guys have like 1,000 shares. And the stock price is $40. No, sorry, $34 is what the stock price was right now. So they already made more than 10% just in 1 month, and that stock pays dividends every month. So that's pretty cool. All right. Here you go, ladies and gentlemen. Check it out. I'll just leave it on the screen so you can see it scrolling through for you. And you can see like Google, 25.43%. And see this Coinbase right here? Dad, this is 162% return. Coinbase. Yeah, that's more than 100%.
That's
Exactly. The reason why is because, again, they're doing options. And Coinbase is actually crypto. And you know, crypto went from $63,000 to $100,000 per coin, Bitcoin. So that meant people were buying and selling all the way up. And when it dipped, people would sell and then rebuy. So those options made so much money that it gave $4.42. Crazy, crazy stuff happening, right? So now more people decide to buy in and the same thing happens. But that's why these are distribution rates. These are not stocks backed by the company. You would never make this type of return because companies do not do option trading. They sell goods, services. That's what they do. They don't do this stock market thing. So that goes by their earnings reports. That goes by if they have how much revenue and how much profit. So there's a value for the company. So the stock is valued based on the value of the company. UMAX ETFs, their ETFs are based on options trading. Look at this. This is MicroStrategy, MSTY, 183% distribution. This is crazy. So anyhow, we have people that invest in these. And by the way, Victor Morel, you left out something. Some of them are more than $150 or $1.50. You're right. Cha-ching, doing the salsa dance. I know. There's one other thing. He forgot a couple of things. YMAG, YMAG, and YMAX, YMAX, they pay out dividends every Friday. This is highly unusual. Every Friday they pay out. There's SNOY that he mentioned, 101.97% distribution. This is crazy. It's because the stock market is hot and crypto is hot. But you cannot expect this to last forever. It's only because Trump said he's going to do tax cut, tax breaks, so the market is happy. Jerome Powell is going to reduce interest rates at the end of this year, so people are happy. So it's going to be on fire for the next year, year and a half probably. But after that, what goes up must come down. There's no way to sustain this. And after all the rich guys buy their shares of stocks, resells them, after you devalue your currency, which is what's happened in the USA, 2 to 2.5 years from now, there will be inflation. And we already have 70% of the population in America lives paycheck to paycheck. And after you devalue and increase prices because of all this shenanigans, we're going to be at around 80 to 85% of the people are going to be living paycheck to paycheck here in America. So that's how it works. You can look it up. I'll probably bring it up on screen shortly. In fact, I'll just Google it for you right now so you guys can see it. How many people in America live paycheck to paycheck? All right, here you go. So you guys can Google it yourself. So you'll see. So here it is. In 2023, it's over 60% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. In 2024, 70% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. And guess what? Since you're devaluing the currency already, it's going to keep going up. There's no way around it. And that's why I told you guys, when did I start saying it? Does anybody remember? I think it was 8 months, 9 months, 10 months ago when I told you guys the upper middle class is going to be wiped out in 3.5 years. This is before Trump even came into office because the ball has already been rolling downhill. Whether Trump was in office and doing his shenanigans or whether Harris would have won, either way, the ball was already rolling downhill because the Federal Reserve was going to reduce interest rates. So once they were going to do that, that means people can borrow, which again, you're putting more money into the money supply without doing anything. You're just doing pieces of paper saying, here's a house worth 600,000. You get a mortgage for it, but the person only put down 20% and then they're paying a mortgage. But on paper, that's $600,000. So that was going to occur anyhow. Now, with the shenanigans by Trump, we're going to be there in 2.5 years. So you basically, that's after he takes office. So you generally have 3 years to start being a prepper. What do I mean by that? You better have water because you're not going to survive without water. So you better want to start stacking up just in case. If things turn out fine, which I don't see how, but if they turn out fine, so what? You have extra water, you have extra staples that can last a few months or years because you don't know what the supply chains are what's going to happen. All right. So let me do it this way. I want to show you guys this because should scare you already. First of all, I'm going to put in this because I want to show you something else that's going to be even scarier. So you guys know I've been telling you all year about the 70% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, right? Well, longtime listeners and watchers know something else also. There's something to be said where 70% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, but here's the question. A lot of people get paid every 2 weeks. So 70% of the people get paid, let's say, the first of the month. That already is dispersed. They're living paycheck to paycheck. In fact, that may cover their expenses for the month. But get this number. 78% of Americans during the month are living paycheck to paycheck. What does that mean? That means you're overextended. And so therefore, you're using one paycheck to pay whatever your expenses are. Then you're using almost all of your second paycheck to pay what most of you have is credit card bills because they're at all-time record highs, credit card debt. So now 78% are already living during the course of a month. 1 week, one paycheck, you might be fine. The next paycheck, 78%. So that's why to move the needle to 85% is only 7 percentage points. And if you do tariffs, you'll be there real quick. 25% on already added to people that can't pay for stuff as it is. And you're not getting a 25% raise just to break even, by the way. That would just be breaking even. Never mind, there's no way you can break even because you're not going to get a job that says we're going to give you 25% increase. So you're going to be left behind. So you have no choices at this point, and jobs are going to be less. So you see where this is going. All right, let's see who else we got in the house tonight. It looks like Brian P. is here. Mr. Dividend has showed up. Welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. And he brings his tagline. Hello, Eric. I hope all is well with you. Yes, it is, man. I'm here. My dad's in the background tonight. Say what's up, Dad.
Hello.
Hey, see there? I do have familia in the house. It's a rare moment. All right. So, hello, SSN family. I got the notification and saw the trailer, and he did the trifecta. He's also smashed that like button. I love it. Thank you so much, Brian P. And Mr. Dividend is here. And I know you love what you saw, Mr. Dividend, because you're Mr. Yield Max ETF all over the place. Did you see the Coney 100 and over 150% distribution? Did you see the MSTY at 163% distribution? This is outrageous. But this is what's going to happen over the next year because the tax cuts and tax breaks, what does that do? That causes the rich to buy more shares of stock. And if you're new here, unfortunately, you may have missed the other videos that I made, but you're here. It's your lucky day. So you can look it up yourself. We already know Amazon, Microsoft, Google are going to buy their own shares of stock. NVIDIA, they're also in a bandwagon. Just those 4 companies are going to buy over the next 3 years $300 billion worth of their own stocks. You know what that means. Their stock prices are going up. They're going up. So you got to ride that train. And unfortunately, they don't give out dividends, but it's okay. You can win with the stock price. You can sit at home. In fact, we have Brian P. here tonight. He was listening. He was listening to what I was telling him before about NVIDIA. When NVIDIA went from, when they split, they went from $1,290, and they did a 10-to-1 split. It went to 129. I always tell everybody, wait 48 to 72 hours before you make a decision after a split. And so nothing happened. It just went from 129 down to 125, 124. But then all of a sudden, it went all the way down to $91 and about 60 some cents. And that was a buy for everybody, right? And now today it's like $140 per share. So whoever was sitting and waiting and bought it like under $100 already has like 50% return on their investment. And NVIDIA is going to be buying back with a few $1 billion worth of their own shares of stock. It's outrageous. But you know what else? Top 10% of the wealthiest own 93% of the stock market. So guess what? Us, the OCs, we get left behind. So there you have it. And since we have some new people in here tonight, I'll give you some other disturbing information. The other disturbing information, which is very disturbing and should alarm everybody. This is why you have to buy the assets that the rich people buy. You stop buying liabilities. Don't play with the Joneses. You got to buy what you can afford basically at this point. And here's the news. I know longtime listeners, you guys already know this. The top 10% of the wealthiest own 70% of the wealth in America. You have 350 million roughly people in America. All right. So they own more. If you break it down mathematically, they own more. The top 10%, 35 million people own more wealth than 210 million people. That's bad. Very bad. Yeah. Now, you want to hear something even crazier? The top 1% of the wealthiest own 50% of the wealth in America. 3.5 million people own as much wealth as 175 million Americans. Can you believe that? Wealth inequality, ladies and gentlemen. You wanted a capitalist system? You got it. And so you're at the mercy of the capitalists, and we're going to start calling them oligarchs here shortly. All right. Brian P., let's see what else you got to say tonight. We are making money in here. I know you are. This guy right here, Brian P., just for giggles and grins, let him know how many, what's that shares that you own? You own 3,000 shares of something. And he's on, all he has to do is have it reinvested, and he gets an extra amount of shares every month. So it actually just keeps perpetuating itself. It's crazy. So congratulations to him. All right. Victor Morrell says tariff can also be used as strategic deterrence if used smartly. Victor Morrell. Yeah, I heard this story before. I don't know what that deterrent is. Yeah, I heard this is the guys that do that optimism stuff, right? I don't know. Oh, I know what's happening here. This one I'm looking for. They do the optimism. It brings world leaders to the table. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. That's the theory. That's the theory based on 100 years ago. That doesn't work anymore. 100 years ago and even 50 years ago, we didn't have an internet. We didn't have global economy. It was based on each country that you had deals with. There was no cross borders. As soon as the internet came out in the 1980s and you could sell something, I can sell something sitting here and buy something from China, that closed all bringing anybody to the table. All they're going to do is just bypass, just what China did with the farmers. They said, okay, we're not going to buy the soybeans after Trump did the tax cuts or the tariffs to China. They decided to buy the soybeans from South America. So in turn, it brought them to the table. But the fact of the matter is, we paying more for groceries because of it. And then Trump had the nerve to give the farmers bailout money. So taxpayers had to pay that. And then the farmers who owed money filed bankruptcy. The highest amount of farmers filed bankruptcy since 2013, all because of a tariff that was unnecessary. Same tariff that he's messing around with Canada again. Remember, he filed tariffs against Canada. So our dairy went up because there was a dairy war with Canada. So this already happened. That's not, in fact, forget the table. Mexico already said, we're going to do retaliation. There's no table. Canada already said, we're going to do retaliation if you do this. There's no table. It's already, they don't have to sell to us. That's the point. They don't have to buy from us. They can buy from anybody. We aren't the cheapest guy on the block. We don't have slavery anymore. Them days are over. We can't supply the world with cheap anything. So they're paying premiums just to do business with the consumer nation because we are number one with consumer nations, but that's about to end. 70%, 80% of people are going to be living paycheck to paycheck in about T minus 9 to 12 months. Because as soon as that 25, 10%, 25%, 30, 40, 50% increase in prices go up, we're going to be at 80% real quick, easily. So there's no table, man. There's no we're going to see. The other countries, because Trump already did the tariffs in 2017, 2018 to the rest of the world for the last, ever since he was still running again, they've already been talking amongst themselves saying, this is what we're going to do if he does this. So there's nothing, they already have a game plan. China already said, we're going to bypass buying from American citizens or selling to American citizens. Either way, they already have a plan to bypass us. And the rest of the world has that plan too, because remember, if you guys saw my video today, there's 50 countries making products in Mexico. 50. Now, you have to start thinking. There's 50 countries that have manufacturing facilities in Mexico. That's central. You either go west or east, you're going to the EU zone, or you're going to China or Asia markets. Do you really think they're going to care about dealing with an American market? They can sell to the rest of the world. Sure, they're going to miss out on the billions of dollars from America, but that means they still are going to be in business. They don't even have to mess with us. So that's all that's going to happen. It's already in play. Already countries have already done this. The EU zone, because he messed around with Germany before, they've already put things in play. This is a serious problem that's going to occur. Basically, it's 1930 all over again. When Hoover was sitting there trying to do this same nonsense. We're going to tax people. We're going to make money. Saying the same stuff that's in history books that people today don't know about because they're trying to erase it and ban it and bypass it. It's the same thing. There's no difference, except the difference this time is the whole world is global. This isn't a separate deal that we just have with England, or we have a separate deal with France, or we have a separate deal with Mexico. That's over. The whole world has a deal because we all have internet. We can ship to anywhere, anybody. We all have private planes. We all have our own delivery services by jet. They have DHL outside the country. We have FedEx. Great. It's not like we have any advantages anymore. Everybody has planes. Everybody can deliver goods and services. Everybody has boats. There's no competitive advantage that the United States has. And the worst part is, United States products cost more than damn near everybody else's. So they have no incentive to buy from us. The only incentive is when it's feasible. It makes sense to their bottom line. Otherwise, you're getting left behind. All right. We'll have to see this time around. Victor Marrero. There's no C. You can go through American history and look at any time there's a tariff war, you can see the repercussions. It's not like there is no good side. There's no time in American history in the last 100 years that you can show on any spectrum anywhere where tariffs worked out for the United States. And you damn sure won't find it in the last 40 years when the internet comes into play. Because that's not going to be, you can forget about it. Mm-hmm. So if you want a Great Depression, then you keep tariffing everybody, just like we did in 1928, 29, 30, 31. And then the repercussions from that is everybody's out of business standing in soup lines because nobody's going to be buying our products because they did the retaliatory on us, and our products cost more. Remember that. Our products cost more. Theirs cost less. There's no country, I don't even know what country would make products that would be more costly than the U.S. because our hourly wages. We can't compete when people are getting paid $2 an hour, 50 cents an hour. And that is damn near 50% of the world. And oh, by the way, I want to tell you guys something else. Here's something else that you guys might want to think about. People always say about BRICS, and I might as well just get on with all of it tonight. BRICS, that is Brazil, Russia, I don't know, India, China, Saudi Arabia is even trying to get in on this. What you guys don't understand is in a fallen empire, you're going to have to start figuring something out. America only has 350 million people, right? That's it. America plus the EU zone. So let's just say 1 billion to 1.5 billion for the elitist empire, the ones that want to use the US dollar. All right? Explain something. We only control the world. We have the world currency. We have a 54.6% of the currency in the world is owned by the United States. That's what's being fluctuated around the world. BRICS is less than 4%. They're no big deal right now. The only reason they're no big deal is because I was on X today and I saw somebody say some silly stuff. You know what the silly stuff that somebody said? They said America makes enough oil, so we should not import oil from Saudi Arabia, Russia, whoever. See, here's the problem. This is why people don't understand economics, and this is why it should be taught in school at an early age. I should remind all Americans, the United States dollar is a petrodollar. What does that mean? It's very simple. Saudi Arabia made a deal with us that any transactions in oil had to be used the US dollar. If they decide that they're going to take the other currencies, the oil that is transacted throughout the world does not have to use the US dollar. Guess what starts happening? Your dollar is now devalued even more because you have nothing to back it by. We have no gold standard. So again, we're devaluing our own money as we speak every time. So when somebody says crazy stuff like that, that means you're going to be the Roman Empire. We're going to be the Roman Empire quicker than you can say what happened. That's why you can't do that. Now, BRICS. The problem you have with BRICS is the nations that are in BRICS right now is 4.4 billion of the 8 billion population on the planet. They can have the currency theirself without the other half of the world. So if you want to start some currency wars, by all means, continue to do this tariff stuff because these guys are one day going to wake up and say, you know what? F America. We don't even need to do nothing with them. We have manufacturing facilities just like them, except we charge less. You guys don't understand. We have no competitive advantages anymore. in anything. So the propaganda that you're reading or what they're spewing on TV, this isn't 1950s, 60s, 70s, where we had flush with cash. We had people working. We had middle class going. Them days are over. So you guys better wake up out here. So therefore, you have to do things internationally. So remember 4.5 years ago, what did I tell you guys? Get some properties, get some businesses started outside of the United States. Because countries outside the United States, they do business with countries that, as an example, China, that the United States has tariffs against, Mexico, Canada, that's going to come. The countries outside the United States don't have tariff wars with them. So now outside of the United States costs less because they're getting their prices at damn near free trade zones, no tariffs. And their economy is nearly the same for their citizens. They get paid nearly the same. So like right now, the DR, 60-1, they went up from 59 pesos to $1 to 60. Why? Because again, they borrowed about $1 billion from the IMF. And I told you guys before, when they didn't do that tax reform, that meant where else are they going to get the money from? And they did the unthinkable. They went out and buying from the IMF and the United States. You have to pay interest. Now you devalued your currency. So I say it again. You keep messing around and that's what starts happening. Your currency gets devalued for every little thing that you do and keep running a deficit like America does for $36 trillion. We can't even pay a $1 trillion in interest every year. And you starting to talk about tariffs. This is crazy. This is insanity right now. So basically, 3.5 years is what you have to make hay with the stock market, with the dividends, because after that, things are going to start coming back down from their highs to lows, and we're going to be in a recession. Even the Federal Reserve will not be able to bail us out this time because we can't pay our interest payments. And we can't pay back the deficit. And we're going to be under siege because of the tariff wars. And we're going to be under siege because of BRICS nations are now going to start shouting, come join us, because you see what these global elitists are doing. That's what they're going to say. The evil empire, look what they're doing because they're keeping us down by making sure our currency is worthless. Meanwhile, they're keeping their U.S. fake dollar up, backed by nothing other than because you traded in oil. And they're going to get pissed sooner or later. Remember, we control the SWIFT system. Remember when we blocked Russia, embargo allegedly against Russia because of the war? You know what Russia's doing right now, right? They just bypass. They just go, okay, Saudi Arabia, we'll trade it with you. We'll trade with you over there in Brazil. We'll trade with you in Venezuela. We'll trade with you in Cuba. They're bypassing us. So take your pick. Smell the roses. It's not pretty. I told you guys we live in a third world country, but you don't know it yet. So you better get on board. But this is why I told you to get offshore, because offshore gives you protection. And it gives you a little protection because then if you have some property offshore, you can stay there. You can get residency. And you know it costs cheaper almost every place in the world other than America. Every place. Except maybe some of the EU zones, but they're just like America, of course. All right, so come to think of it, let's keep moving. We got Mogul back in the house. Let's see what Mogul says. Recession, yeah, Mogul, you're right, man. You're right. That's where this leads, 3.5 years, a recession for sure. And it could happen sooner. And the reason why I say it could happen sooner is if Trump and his cronies decide to have tariff wars with our other allies, then that exasperates the situation. That moves the timeline up. You're not going to have 3.5 years. Because if the rest of the world decide to do what they did in the late 1920s and early 1930s, we're going to have a problem. And Boeing thinking they're going to be able to sell planes to other countries, you forget that. Lockheed, Boeing, all these airplanes that are big ticket items, they're not going to be selling. They're going to be having layoffs, and those people get paid 6 figures. So therefore, you have a the middle class wipeout. Now you're going to have upper middle class wipeout. It's all in stone. It's pretty much a wrap at this point. If they do what they say, I don't think this is bargaining. I'm not buying the bargaining thing. I don't buy it. I'm not buying that at all. Because they're already trying to think of retaliation. Hey, Eric, check your emails. All right. I'll check them, man, in a second. All right. Let me know if anybody else has anything to say about this recession. Because Trump tariff, it's yikes, ladies and gentlemen. And ladies and gentlemen, are you going to be ready? So think like a corporation. Why doesn't Apple, why doesn't Microsoft, why don't all these big multinational corporations have their headquarters in America? Because it's very simple. If I'm offshore, I collect money for the corporation offshore. I don't have to pay taxes in America. If I bring that money into America, then I got to pay the capital gains or the corporate taxes. Now, there could be a thing where they say, okay, it's a holiday, 21%, but if you're going to try to say these guys have trillions of dollars offshore and you're going to tax them 1% or 20% when they should be paying 30%, that means you have less revenue, which now means you're going to have more of a deficit because they should have been paying taxes to begin with. But if you're offshore, we have treaties with other countries. And some countries we don't have treaties with. And there is no way the IRS can go to another country and say, we want to see their tax records. So that's why they keep money offshore. Simple. That's what you should do. You should have corporation, business, something, even yourself as an individual as a subsidy. That's why you all have Social Security numbers. You should have a bank account. You should have a business in another country or real estate so you can live there and hang out. All right? Because I think things are going to even get worse than this. If you want to, I told you about the realities. I'll give you the next level. This doesn't mean it's going to happen. This is just a talk. So if America goes by the wayside, we're going down, right? The evil empire goes down a little bit. I don't see why the United States would be like, well, we can't lose our citizens, because then there's our taxation base. There's our workforce. So do you think that America might shut down people's passports? I'm asking. We've never come down this path before, because before we had the cheapest labor on the planet because of slavery. Then we moved into the industrial age, and then we moved into world currency. So for 115 years, 110 years, we've been rolling. But after that, just like England, just like Italy, exactly, all of these countries at one time was at the top of the heap. But just like every corporation, because that's what the United States is, you have an up, then you level off, and then there's a downside. No matter how much you manipulate the system, you can't get away from it, because we're using fake dollar bills backed by nothing and calling it money. So therefore, sooner or later, somebody's going to wake up that's not America and go, you know what? They're using monopoly money, and I think we need to take away that world currency. The only saving grace the United States has is over the last 100 years, they built the SWIFT system. Nobody else will take on that build out. That's the only reason things haven't already happened. And that's what saved America so far from the US dollar falling worse and worse into devaluation, meaning citizens in America have to pay more for the same items year over year over year. All right, we're in YILMAG Club. Exactly, Brian P. Why Max? Why Mag? Exactly. All right. Oh, you left it out. IWMY. See, this is why you better keep your pen, pads, and paper ready. And I'll be on Friday night as well. And you better get your pen, pads, and paper at 9:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come one, come all. And oh, by the way, bring a friend. Your bellies will be full. You might have watched some Thursday football, Friday night football. Your bellies will be full. So I expect to see you guys 9:10 p.m. on Friday night. So make sure you come join us. All right. Okay. Hey, Dad, since you're here, what do you think what I've been saying?
I think you're right on it.
Yup.
That's spot on.
Oh,
Especially in politics, spot on.
all right. We got one thumbs up in the house, and then I make the second thumbs up. All right. And by the way, you guys know that you can always join me on screen if you want. You can always come into the chat room. You can always have discussions with me. Just like Victor Marrero, he did put in, what was that he put in over here initially? When he said this, we can have this discussion. When he said tariff can also be used as strategic deterrence if used smartly, it brings world leaders to the table. They were used 4 years ago and the economy was great. We'll have to see this time around. Victor Marrero, the economy was not great. It wasn't. It was, okay, listen. I'm going to tell you again. Every time, you don't have to do anything. 1980, tax cut, tax breaks stimulates the economy, along with Federal Reserve reducing interest rates. Boom. What happened 7 to 8 years later? Recession, late 80s, savings and loans going out of business. Saving and loans banks go out of business. Okay, guess what though? An anomaly happened. George Bush 1 comes in. What does he do? Tax cut, tax breaks. So the savings and loan debacle, inflation rising, they don't care. They get their tax cuts and tax breaks to the rich because we got to, do the wealth inequality thing. 4 years later, 3.5 years later, recession in mid-90s. That's why Clinton gets elected. Clinton, what does he do? Like all Democrats do, they don't do tax cut, tax breaks. But yet, he's able to get the deficit under control. And then the unthinkable happens. C student, George W. Bush gets elected. He does the GOP playbook. Tax cuts, tax breaks, except this time we have 9/11. And so he does the still thing. Tax cuts, tax breaks, and we're going to go fight in Iraq to spend trillions of dollars.
A war that shouldn't have been fought in the first place.
A war that shouldn't have been, fought in the first place. So what happens? Because of the tax cut, tax breaks, and because of the war, which gave infusion into the economy, it delayed the inevitable. All of a sudden, 6 years later, chinks in the armor, and the next thing you know, the Great Recession. Trump does tax cut, tax breaks. Same thing. And he keeps the Federal Reserve interest rates low. So what happens? You call it great. I don't call it great. When a house used to be $250,000, $190,000 and is now worth $500,000, you call that great? I don't. Because now you have to make $150,000 a year as a household to buy a $500,000 house. Or actually it's more because the interest rate is now 5.5% to 6% interest rate for loans. So you got to make like 175 with no credit, with no debt. And if you have debt, you're going to have to make $200,000. That's why the housing market is going to have a problem. 70% of people are living paycheck to paycheck. They're not going to be able to buy any houses even if the interest rates go down. The only people that can buy them are the rich people. Have at it. But there's going to be a problem because now insurance is going to go up. Again, all this has to do with what happened between 2017, 2018, and then we had a pandemic that exasperated the situation. So every time there's a tax cut, tax break, the economy does good for 2 years. You can look it up through history. This isn't rocket science. The only reason it happens is because you forego tax revenue. I'll put it another way in case there's people that don't understand. Let's just say for the sake of the argument that the United States makes $100 billion a year in tax revenue. Normally, we wake up in 3 months and they do tax cut, tax break, what happens? We're not going to get $100 billion in tax revenue because he gave tax cut, tax breaks to the wealthy. They're the ones that make out like bandits. So instead, we're going to get $900 billion, let's say. This is just an example. That $100 billion shortfall, who pays for it? Taxpayers. And not only are they going to have to pay for it, now there's inflation because you gave a balloon. You inflated the markets because people are out here buying more and borrowing more. So again, inflation is going to kick in, except it's going to take 2 to 2.5 years to go through the system. Because today I buy a house. I put down 20%. The house is $450,000. It's on paper, so no big deal. But you just put $450,000 into the system with funny money. It's a loan, right? It's simple. This isn't hard. So therefore, on the other side of this, you increase the value of money. How do I increase the value of money? You know how I do it? I package my mortgage. I package 100 homes. The homes are $500,000 each. 100 times 500,000, $50 million. I think I go to one of these ETFs, I go to Wall Street, and I say, this is AAA rated. Hey, why don't you buy this from me? $50 million, buy this from me. And they say, sure we will. We'll take on that risk. We'll give you like $20 million. I just created more money out of thin air, which means you're devaluing and you're increasing inflation. This is why after 3 years, after tax cut, tax breaks, and it goes through the system, there's going to be a recession. Mogul Matrix, he brought it up. He's right. Just what he says. It's a recession. That's what he says. That's what's going to happen. There's no way around it. And you can go do history. Go look through history. And oh, by the way, there's an important fact. You're wiping out the middle class each time. So in the 1980s, you had people who could make $25,000 a year and they could survive. Early 1980s, before the first tax cut, tax break situation started. By the late 80s, you had to make like $30,000 to $35,000 just to live. After the next 10 years, then you had to make $45,000 to $50,000. And then after the last 20 years, you have a problem because, again, in order to buy a $500,000 house, you have to make $175,000 at today's interest rates approximately. And that means either two people have to make like $90,000 or $80,000, $85,000, $90,000 each, or some variations of that. And unfortunately, the average wage in America is not $150,000 for one person. So you got a problem, Houston. And any other houses that go up beyond that, you have to be in the 250s, 300s. Not going to happen. Brian P. Weekly pay, IWMY, Brian P. Here we go. Let's go. Brian P. says, do you have some SNOY? Man, that's over 100% too. It went insane, paying $1.70 per share. Price is $22. Just 200 shares will give you $345 per month. That's wham, I am talking about. Victor Marrero, damn, that is awesome. I didn't even know about SNOY. SNOY is crazy. Yeah, Dad. This is UMAX ETFs. It's pretty serious. I'll come upstairs and talk to you about it. But yeah, SNOY, and you don't have to put that much into it. And again, that $1.70 is almost 8% on your money just in 1 month. Most people would be happy with most people. Now, you know what? I always cracked up. Here's what you guys know I used to work, right? I worked at jobs and they would give me my 401k. They'd say, Eric, why don't you put your money in a 401k? And I'd say, well, what's these funds? Can I pick my own? They would say, no, you have to pick ours. I'd look at their funds, and their funds, their not at the time mutual funds. They would give out like 6-7%. And I'd be like, why aren't you in the Franklin Templeton group? They've given out like 10% on average for the last 10 years. Why am I going to put it in here at 7%? That's the same kind of crazy talk. It's ridiculous. So I said, I'm putting mine in Franklin Templeton at the time. I think they merged with another company. But anyhow, I never put my money in the 401k at the job because they were siphoning off money. There would be years where it'd be 14% for my Franklin Templeton group, and my company's going 9% to the people. Exactly, at best.
6%.
Yeah, it would range 6 to 9%. And I'd be like, hey, guys, it's 15% that it made this year. Why? Tax cut, tax breaks. It happens 2 years in a row, 15%, 16%. But then on the other side, yes, now there's a recession. Now, of course, now you're getting 6%, 7%. But that's how it goes. And that's why you have to invest in the stock market with the big boys. Where the rich guys put their money, that's where you need to put yours. That's the golden rule. All right? Okay. That is awesome. That is awesome. SNOY just blew up. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. All of them, MSTY, all of it just blew up. Wow. I'll get some on Friday. I'm sure you will, Brian P. You have a few thousand coming in, so you can use some of that dividend money and reinvest it on your own. It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. This is another good one. Yep, exactly. Exactly. It's pretty good. Brian, good idea. When it comes down, it may be Monday when it comes down due to the holiday. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You don't have to worry about any of it. It's, you guys, tax cut, tax breaks. You guys know what the MO is. The stock market is going to be on fire for the next 2 years. So yield max ETFs are going to be fine. There's going to be lots of trading. All-time record highs on the stock market is going to continue. It's just going to be short-circuited after the tariffs kick in. Then it's going to be a year and a half when it rolls through the system that companies are going to have to start laying people off, doing whatever they got to do, and then all of a sudden lower revenue, so then stock prices come back down. That's what's going to happen. But, I mean, 2 years, you're going to have a fun ride. You just got to be in the game. It's that simple. All right. He says, I will wait till then. Whether it's Friday or whether it's Sunday, it won't matter. You guys are going to be fine with the UMAX ETFs, the SNOY. It's over 100% at this price point. $22, Dad. $22 share, $1.70 just this month, and they still have 11 more months to give out dividends. Yeah, exactly. This is, yeah. 12 times $1.70 is, I haven't done the mathematics, but that's almost $20. Is that right? No, I'll do the math. I think that's close to $20. So that's almost 90% return. That's crazy. Let's see. It's 117 if it gave that, but who knows? But what is that? Oh, $20.40. If they're able to give out the 170. But again, it fluctuates, just so everybody understands. It fluctuates because as long as the market is hot, there's going to be exchanges on the options market. So it's going to be hot for the next 2 years. So it looks like all systems are go. Stock market, ladies and gentlemen. All right. ULTY, he has 33,130 shares. That's crazy. James Way. Welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday Night Live stream. And I'm very happy to see you once again on this live. And he has his tagline, hello all, got notification. You all know the rent is too damn high and I'm renting from migrants. James Way, bringing some comedy to the live stream tonight. I love it, man. That is awesome. Exactly. That's what's going to be happening, man. My God, this is going to be one hell of a ride. And for some of us, the ride is going to be awesome. You got to invest while the investing is good. Do not detour. There's nothing that's going to happen over the next year, year and a half for sure. Even with the tariffs, it just short circuits it later, like I've mentioned. But we should be good. All right. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you go down below in the description box. Apparently, crypto is major right now. And so I'm telling you guys, get your unstoppable domain. The link is down below. Go get your domain. You know I have ericberg.crypto. You know I have ssnlifestyle.crypto. Stopstrugglingnow.crypto. And my daughters, if I pass away, I also have their names.crypto as well. They don't know that, though. I just been holding it out for one day when there's some time they'll have their own. So what does this mean? That means if I'm receiving crypto, all I have to do is give somebody my name, ericberg.crypto, stopstrugglingnow.crypto. I don't have to give you that alphanumeric character. That's the beauty of it. And also, it limits traceability just slightly, but it doesn't matter. It's not like crypto is, makes it anonymous. You can always trace the transaction. You just don't know who it is on the other end. But Unstoppable Domain, because they have more than just .crypto. They have .nft. They have .bitcoin wallet. They have a bunch. Go over there and look at it, and you pay a one-time fee, and the minting to the blockchain is free. But here's the kicker. Since it's on the blockchain, you can actually create websites, post videos, and since it's on the blockchain, there is no ISP, there is no Comcast, there is no AT&T, there is no Verizon, so therefore it cannot be taken down. So anything you put up, it stays, because as long as the blockchain exists, it's there. Nobody can remove it. That's one thing. The second is that the fee you pay, whether it's $10, they have a Black Friday special. There's some of these are going to be $5, $10, $20. It's not like a .com. You do not have to annually renew. You don't have to annually pay anything. You pay just the one time. So I bought those websites Unstoppable about 2 or 3 years ago. I don't have to pay anything annually. That's right. So that's another great thing. Unlike .com, .net, and all these others, you have an annual pay for the domain. And if you're hosting it, you got an annual hosting fee. But not if you do blockchain. So that's why you want to have it just in case crypto becomes big time. Is it not worth $20, $10? Come on, get real. You already saw what happened with Bitcoin. It went from 63,000 to 100,000 in the last month. It hasn't even been a month, actually. After the election, which was November 5th, when Trump won, November 6th, all of a sudden Bitcoin went from 63 to 70, 70 to 75. Now it's at 100 in less than a month. So you never know what's going to happen. But for $20, why not? Or $10 or $5, the Black Friday deal's out. Use the link down below, Unstoppable Domain. All right, go over there and get it. You won't be sorry, because they're trying to. And speaking of tariffs, I got to mention something else. All right, here we go. Victor Marrero, he says, not a financial advice, but NVIDIA is sitting nice for purchase at 135. I like it. Looking at buying 100 shares this Friday. Let's roll. Victor Marrero. I agree with you. We know NVIDIA is going to spend a couple hundred. I can't remember. I think it was 50 billion. Yeah, it was $50 billion. And then they had 7 billion left over from their previous buyback. So they're going to be spending 57 billion over the next 3 years to buy their shares of stock. 135, of course it's a bargain. By the way, the analysts are saying it should be $200 a share in about a year. I have to agree with them. Tax cut, tax breaks, and the Federal Reserve reducing interest rates. That spurs the economy. And by the way, in case we have new people here, there's other ramifications from when the Federal Reserve reduces interest rates. Here's the other thing, and this is why the economy booms. If you have a corporation such as an NVIDIA, such as a Microsoft, any of the top 50, 100 on any of the stock market indexes, they can roll to the Federal Reserve and say, hey, I want to borrow money from you. And they will give them things like 1.5 interest for 15 years, and here's $1 billion. I think that's called a huge advantage. So if I or you could pay 1.5% on your house for 15 years or on any loan for 15 years, I think you would be getting ahead because you can actually then buy damn near anything. You could even say, I'm just going to go get a stock such as ET, Energy Transfer, which is a utility company that pays around 6.9 or 6.5% dividends right now. And you could put your money into that, a part of it, and take part of that and say, okay, I'm getting 1.5. The difference between $10 million, 1.5 and 6.5 is 5% a year on $10 million. I'll take it. Who wouldn't? This is the advantage they have that you don't have. And again, that's why the rich always get richer. But unfortunately, we got to join their party one way or another, and that's how you buy stocks. So there you go. That's an asset that you can borrow against, and that's another advantage that corporations have when they have stocks. They borrow against it like Elon Musk was able to do and buy Twitter. Same thing. All right? So you want to hold assets that they hold, and that's what we do here. All right? That's what you have to do. All right. Well, Dad, what do you think?
I think it was a great show.
Great show so far?
I think it was a great show. A lot of truth was there.
I like it. I like it. He says I'm telling no lies, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, and by the way, I should mention something too. So remember, I haven't even told you guys before that about my college stuff, right? I just told them last week. Okay, so yes, I graduated in business management. Yes, I studied economics. First thing, you have to understand economics if you're going to be making investments into things. That helps. Second thing, if I would have stayed one more semester, I would have had a minor in computers. So yeah, I used to be able to code and do all that stuff. So we know how universal stuff goes around on the internet. Now, the other part is I also went to another business school for like 9 to 10 months. And I was number one in the class. And oh, by the way, at my 4-year school, I graduated with distinction. So now, after 5 years, I just now told you guys everything I've been telling you. You guys might be looking at the YouTuber guy going, he don't know nothing. This is why I know something. And besides that, I played you guys my landauction.com videos where I was actually buying and selling land. So you guys saw me in their infomercials, the commercial they make every 8 minutes. So all this stuff, you guys have actually, since I started, learned how to buy assets, start businesses, buy everything you can need to buy in order to put yourself in position to win long term, regardless of what the economy does. And that's why I started the channel. All right, here we go. Eric, don't get mad, but I decided to put $30K out of my 401k to work for me. Why would I be mad? Why would I be mad at that? Your 401k is just sitting there making kibbles and bits. Of course you should put it in the Coney MSTY. These are 100% distribution rates for the... Come on, man. Come on, man. I am agreeing with this. I bought CONY MSTY. Okay, so just because my dad's here, he doesn't know about crypto that much. But CONY is Coinbase. So Coinbase is actually an exchange. So since they do crypto on the options, puts and calls and all that, they're making money every time Bitcoin, Ethereum, all the cryptos are sold. So that's why they had that 163% distribution. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. So he bought that. MSTY is MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy buys Bitcoin. They have billions of dollars in Bitcoin. So when it went from 63,000 to 100,000 in the last 30 days, options have been trading. So he bought MSTY.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're giving out dividends of significant amount. So he's got Amazon, he's got NVIDIA, he's got MSCY, he's got SQY for the stock. We'll get almost $3K per month.
Wow.
He's right. He put in 30,000 and he's going to get $3K per month. He's right. Because these distribute over 100% for MSTY, for a lot of these. I think NVIDIA is 55%, MSTY was 140. So yeah, you're going to make, I think you're going to make 30, he's going to make over 100%. He's going to make 36,000 on his $30,000 investment. Victor Morrell, why am I mad, man? I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. The reason why is because some people would say this. They're going to say, well, you took out money on your 401k. Did you have to pay anything? But you don't work anymore. You're retired. So the question is, was there a fee to withdraw it? Let us know. Now, if there, yeah, they have a fee. So if there's a fee to withdraw, what did you have to pay? Like some, well, it could be pretty substantial. Did you have to pay like $5,000? And even if you had to pay $5,000, it's still worth it. It's free money. $3K per month. Yeah. Come on, Victor Morrell. And actually,
in 2 months.
Exactly. 2 months you get it back.
10 months you hit it.
Yeah. And it keeps rolling. And it's even better. He reinvested, and now you're buying more shares every month. So now it goes up from $3,000, it goes to $3,200 the next month, then $3,400 the next month, then $3,700 yeah. It's a win.
That's right.
It's a win. Congratulations, Victor. I ain't mad at you. This is what we're supposed. All right, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so Dad gives it 2 thumbs up as well, ladies and gentlemen. He says that's a great move, Victor Morrell. As who wouldn't say this? This is a business channel. Who wouldn't say that's a smart move? You got a year and a half of nothing but an upside and collecting $3,000 a month for an investment or more. Because if once Trump comes in, the stock market's going to even go higher because the tax cuts and tax breaks are going to be implemented. So this is a win-win for you and everybody else. This is crazy. I was going to go somewhere, but I lost my train of thought where I was going to go. Nice, Victor. Oh, emails. Brian P. keeps telling me to go check my emails. He sends me emails every day because there's so much news and information. It's out of control. But he keeps me abreast of it. Helps out greatly. So hopefully this tariff information that I left you guys tonight, and people who see this, hopefully you guys understand the ramifications and you understand how you'll be able to take advantage of what's going to happen now instead of later. Uh-oh, what's this? Okay, I can't even log in there. I'm at your house. That's why. It's asking me for a code. I can't log in because it doesn't recognize my internet. So we'll see what happens here. Oh, wow. Okay. Hold on a second, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, what I'm going to do is this. You guys know we have our own little promos. Here, I'll play. Well, can I play one? Where is it? Here it is. This is one right here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you share the videos because you never know who needs this information. We want a rising tide lifts all boats out here financially. And so far, we're failing miserably. We aren't here, but America is failing when we have 70% of people living paycheck to paycheck. And that is a bad, bad scenario. And companies are going to be laying people off. They've already started, in fact. So this is going to be very, very dicey. But the rich, those who have money in the stock market, who are putting their monies in places that are considered assets, you're going to win. So therefore, stop buying liabilities, only buy assets. That's all you're supposed to do right now. Don't do anything else. All right. I know Christmas is coming up. You're going to have to scale back a little bit. Just keep that in mind. Scale back. Okay. I need to log in and do some things real quick, but we'll get it done. All right. Let's see if there's anything else you guys want to talk about. Let's go. All right. Victor Morel says, all right, I only have to pay taxes if I withdraw money. If not, it will continue to generate dividends. If I pull any money, I'll have to pay about 10% since it's a traditional IRA. All right, 10%. That's still good. But are you saying that you're actually using your 401k? I know you have Fidelity, right? You have Schwab or something or Fidelity. So you're using your 401k and you're actually trading in your 401k. Tell me that, because then that would be so sweet. And by the way, that's another lesson for everybody. If you have a 401k, you can actually trade in your 401k. Now, some of you would go, Eric, I can't do that. I work for a company. So my 401k is with my company. Okay, congratulations. You're here right now. All you have to do is go to Schwab or go to any brokerage, except the ones you can't go to Robinhood and Webull and do this. They have a solo 401k. You can start your own 401k, and inside your 401k, you actually have stocks that you buy. So therefore, there is no withdrawal, unless, of course, you want to withdraw it. Of course, you'll have a penalty. But the point I'm trying to make is you don't have to put it in and then pull it out. You can just leave it in under your 401k and get the tax deduction at the same time. So, Victor Morel, you're going to have to tell me which way are you going? Did you have the 401k and you're trading? Because what you're sounding like is I only have to pay taxes if I withdraw. That means you did like the solo 401k because you retired. Did you transfer it in? And so that's what you're doing, because that means you're way ahead. Way ahead. Because now, even after it increases 3,000, let's just say now next year it's going to be 60 some thousand, 70,000. You don't have to pay anything on it because you didn't withdraw it. And as each year goes by, I think the tax implications reduce. Yeah, as he gets older. So Dad says that's true. He's older. He's already done all the tax implications. Even having to go through the one where you actually had to spend the money or get taxed at a certain age.
They call minimum distribution.
Minimum distributions, exactly. Minimum distributions, ladies and gentlemen. I've never made a video about that, but it's wild. So you're thinking, oh, I got all this money, I get to save it. All of a sudden, these guys are talking about if you don't use it. What do you mean? This is wild.
It's required to have minimum distribution.
Yeah. Yeah, after you hit a certain age. Minimum distributions. Victor Morel, you don't have to worry about that right now. But in about 10 years or 15, you might, when you're in the 70s. But anyhow, that is great news. And by the way, if you want that solo 401k, go over to Fidelity or Schwab, and they have it. My favorite one was TD Ameritrade. The reason why is because they had it on their website. They had instructions, and then TD Ameritrade and Schwab merge. And now you got to go to Schwab's website. But there is a 401k from all type of different companies. You can do the solo one if you're interested. by yourself. You are the CEO of your life. So act like it. All right. Okay. Let's go. Okay. I got to get to the emails, ladies and gentlemen.
That's a long. You guys have a long one.
Yeah, this is 1 hour and 35 minutes, Dad. So far. But wait, there's more. No, you can go. You can go, Dad. So this is the first time my dad watched the full live stream that we've been doing, ladies and gentlemen. He's heard me do it before, but this is the first time he sat in on it, and he gave us a thumbs up so far on the subject matter for tonight. We still got thumbs up, Dad?
Yes. They better take
Houston, we have a problem. Auto, what do you mean auto? Houston, we have a problem. Mic check, mic check. I'm going to take this off. There we go. There we go. I think you guys can hear me again, right? I think so. Let me know. Damn. I was sitting here talking for 5 minutes. Can't hear you, Eric. Can't hear you. Turn your mic on. All right, turn on your mic. That's funny. All right, let me know if you guys can hear me again. All right, thank you so much. Sorry about that for the 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes of talking. It doesn't give me a pop-up screen saying mic off or anything. That's weird. That's one of them EV muxes. But it's okay. I like EV mux so far. But Victor Morrell did great. Excellent job on his 401k investments, and he invested based on his 401k account. So his tax implications are minimal. Basically, real minimal. I just want to know what's going to happen if you do this for a few years. That's what it's going to be like, a whole nother, I mean, that's going to be significant. 2 year, can you imagine a 2 year run from your 30,000 if you can get 70,000 or even, it's 2.5 actually. Can you imagine getting $100,000 from dividends if they keep this up and the stock market stays hot for those 2 years? Because he's not even in office yet. We haven't even done the tax breaks legislation yet. So that's probably going to happen in another 9 months. And then from there you have 2 year run. Can you imagine what's going to happen? It's going to be awesome. Got to be in. Thank you very much, Victor Morrell. All right, I'm going to wrap this up tonight. We're going to go. We got to run. I'm going to do one last thing. Let's see here. I have Bank of America. Let's go check out Bank of America. What do these guys do? There's some about 2 million, or is that 2 billion? I think it's 2 million. Is that? No, that's 2 billion. Bank of America announces redemption of 2 billion at 1.53% fixed floating rate senior notes due December. What? Bank of America announced today that it will redeem on December 6th, 2 billion principal amount outstanding of its 1.530% fixed floating rate senior notes due at a redemption price equal to 100% of the principal amount of the notes, plus accrued and unpaid interest too, but excluding the redemption date, December 6th. Interest on notes will cease to accrue on the redemption date. Yeah, B of A. Again, I don't bank with those guys. Again, ever since they stole my money in the late 80s. Wells Fargo, I don't bank with them ever since they stole my money in the late 80s. U.S. Bank, never banked with them after they stole my money in the 2009 or 10. The company provides unmatched convenience in the United States. Don't even tell me about these guys. I don't even want to hear it. I don't even want to hear forward-looking statements. I don't even want to deal with these guys. They're just like, they're a effed up company, man. Let's just put it that way. I got no love for them. So anything that happens with them, it's like they deserve all of it. All right, Tamari Larry, welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. I had a special guest on tonight. My dad was in the room. First time he actually watched my live stream. I'm at his pad right now. We're hanging out. It's holiday time. It's Thanksgiving, and we're here. And you know what that means, Thanksgiving dinner. Tomorrow, all day long, it's gonna be nothing but familia, cousins, friends, everybody coming through. It's gonna be fun. And Tamara Larry, thank you so much for being here. You're good now. Thank you. Very happy to see you. And again, we're counting down the days. SSN Lifestyle Punta Cana Investors Forum, January 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in the DR. It should be damn near perfect weather. perfect scenery, smelling the roses of the not Pacific, of the Caribbean / Atlantic Ocean, depending on what side of the island you're on. And we'll be there checking out, understanding what you want to do. Want to start a business? Talk to the lawyers. You want to get some real estate? Understand what you're doing? Talk with the lawyers. That's day one. You want to think about residency? Talk to the lawyers. You want to find out how to get residency? Talk to the lawyers. Okay, first day, got to get all your info straight out. Second day, we're going to go check out some properties. We'll go check out see a presentation or two, go see some of the lay of the land we're going to Vista Cana straight up. I'm going to let you know that right now. Because a lot of people, there's like 30 people in the SSN Nation that owns a Vista Cana alone. So we're going there, see what's been happening over the last 6 months. So we're going to go check out a few places, get some presentations. Maybe if somebody wants to buy something, here's the deal. We know ITBIS is coming for Airbnbs on the island. We just don't know when they're going to implement it, and it's going to be paid for by who else? The customer. You're on mute, can't hear you. Okay, YouTube took your audio too. That's what they're trying to do now. They're trying to keep me out. I told you guys things would act funky once they find me. I guess they found me. But that's what happens. I don't know what's happening here, but the first few days until Monday, 2 times we used it, all good. Now all of a sudden now it's, it is what it is. Okay. Now, I want to see you guys on Friday night at 9-10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time after your bellies are full, after you had the leftovers. Tamara Larry will be at the Punta Cana Investors Forum. You're damn right. We're going to see you. It's going to be awesome. I'm excited. Why am I excited? I'm going to tell you guys why I'm excited. Here's why I'm excited. Well, it's basically because there are still some properties that you can buy, 1-bedroom units under 120 grand, 130 grand. That's the upside. The reason why that's a good point is because prices are going to go up in the DR for visitors. Now, the only other side of the coin is, will we continue that tourist numbers? But it's easier to rent something for $120 per night, $130 inside Vista Cana than it will be some random 1-bedroom condo just anywhere in a residential neighborhood. And by the way, I'll give you a perfect example. Staying in Punta Cana next week, not this week, next week, you can go to Airbnb and look up the rental rates. And they are falling because it's a tweener. Thanksgiving may have a lot of people there, but afterwards, nobody's there for about 2 weeks. And the 15th of the month comes, everybody's there for Christmas, New Year's, and the party starts for the next 5 months. High occupancy rates. Rent should be off the hook, but it's key. You have to own where people would want to stay. It ain't good enough just to go, hey, I bought something for $200,000 and it's a residential neighborhood and I'm going to rent it out for $75 per night. That doesn't work. You might as well just put your money in the stock market. If you want 3% or 2% on your money, you can get that all day, every day. Why go through all the other stuff? So anyhow, we're going to have some fun. I look forward to it. Hopefully tomorrow's not going to be camera shy because we're going to have that Wednesday night live stream in Dominican Republic. And Wednesday night, while you guys run the live stream as long as you want. That's one of the little perks we do with the SSN Nation live streams or Punta Cana Investors Forum. All right, since you're here tomorrow, let me know if you are considering opening up a bank account. Let me know. By the way, since you are here, if you want to open up a bank account, you will need, if you work for a job, W-2s. If you work for your own business, then you would need, this is for everybody that's coming. There's not that many coming, but still, you would need If you have a business, then you're going to have to show that your business is current, because you're going to say you're an employee of the company, and that's why they need your tax returns for 2024 that you filed for 2023. Then you're going to need 2 forms of ID. You're going to need, or put on your computer, 6 months of bank statements, personal. All right? Put it in, download it, put it in a file, so that way you can easily upload it, send it, whatever you got to do. 2 forms of ID, passport, ID, passport or driver's license, or an ID. You're going to need 2 forms of ID, credit card, things like that. All right, so that's how we can get it started. I like Scotiabank. I have to admit, I love how Scotiabank is. That's the closest to me for a U.S. bank. I do like Banco de la Horo, but Banco de la Horo, they don't allow us to do any pre-things, and it takes forever. But I do like them because they're by Vistacana, and they allow you to use, the only thing about them is their card uses the peso account. Scotiabank allows you to use your USD account for your card. So you can be anywhere you can use your peso, but it depends on where you want to put your money. But nonetheless, there's other banks too, BHD and all those guys. But I like Scotia so far. And I like Scotia a lot because they're in Canada, they're all over the world, and they actually have branches, but the branches are not tied together. The Dominican branch, Scotiabank, does not give you can still go in the branch in Canada, but the fact is they're not associated. You're just going to be in Canada going, hey, I want a cash advance or something. You're not going to be able to pull out pesos. You have to go to the ATM machine and it converts. So, it's not like you can go in the bank and withdraw at the branch. You have to use your ATM card. So just letting you know, but I still like Scotia because that's more modern to me. Still wait times just like everybody else. If you have to go banking, it's still the same wait. Take a number, sit there for 30, 40 minutes, same wait times for banking. All right, so that's the staple of what you need to open up a bank account. All right, so bring some of that with you if that's on your agenda. All right, here we go. How are your rentals back in USA? Hey, man. No, mine aren't the same, man. You're in Orlando. My rentals are sucking wind. My stuff is, okay, I have some of these places that are hot spots. Here's what's happening for me. I do condo timeshare rentals. So my thing isn't open. My Airbnb short-term VRBOs aren't open. Right? I can only, since I use it from a timeshare perspective, I can only rent when something's available. This is why I've always been successful until now, because it was never open all the time. And because it wasn't open all the time, I always had people who wanted to do the best times of year, such as like the Scottsdale right now. I have people that rented Scottsdale for the Waste Management Open. They made reservations like 2 months ago for February 6th through the 9th. But the advantage I have is I get to charge like $600 per night. So instead of me charging during low season, which is now, like in Arizona, I don't want nothing to do with those. I get to pick and choose which days and nights longer out. But what started happening for me is people do not make reservations as far out as they used to. So if you make reservations closer to the date, I don't have availability because other owners are able to rent those nights. So I have a disadvantage at this point when people are 70% living paycheck to paycheck. So that's why my bookings have dramatically dropped 90%. Even for the holidays, I used to have Hawaii calling me, all kind. Hawaii's not cheap. It's $500-$600 per night for a 2-bedroom in Maui. That's by the beach. Same on the Big Island. Paniola greens and all that during Christmas and New Year's week. You're going to be spending 4G, well, not 4Gs, but $3,500 a week. And since people are looking out for their money, they don't want to spend that. And airfare and eating there and all that runs up. So for me, I lost 90%. It's almost like it's pandemic stuff that's going on for me. Victor Marrero is at Orlando. Orlando starts picking up because they have something that people don't know. Well, a lot of people don't know. It's holidays. It's a little chillier, but it's still nice weather. And then they have, you would think Disney Christmas, you would think would be around Christmas, but it's not. It's a couple weeks before. I know, kind of wild, right? They have special stuff that happens like it's either first or second week in before Christmas, before the 15th, and then the 15th of the month in December starts taking off for Victor Marrero. But for me, stuff is already booked at my Orange Lake. Christmas and New Year's gone. I can't even think about that, right? You have to book that a year in advance, just to give you an idea. Or you have to own week 52, which is New Year's or Christmas, depending. But like me, I own something in there for week 52, so I get to rent that every year. But anything else, I don't, because they're floating dates. And so there's a difference. Now, if I had the disadvantage that I have, if I would have been owned the condo outright, then some of these days that I would not make money, I could still make money, even though it's going to be a little less. But when it's higher season, I would still be making that money, but at least I would have kibbles and bits coming in. All right, so, but there's a method to the whole thing because I don't have a full package price for HOAs, and it's reduced, right? So there's a lot of advantages I have, but in this market, for me, it's a disadvantage. When everybody can travel and go around, then I have a huge advantage because when the F1's in Vegas, I'm getting $650 per night for like 4 or 5 nights. When they have the shows, like the Eagles are coming up, people are going to see the Eagles next week. A guy rents 2 rooms from me. So I get to charge him during the week like $400 a night. I get to charge him on the weekend $550. It's December, cold, chilly, low season in reality. Cost me less in points, damn near half. So he gets a good deal. I get a good deal. And so I get an advantage such as that. But again, my other things I can't book because people are basically booking within 30 days or less. And I have to turn down a lot of them. All right. So I'll see you in Punta Cana tomorrow. I don't even know. I'll know Tamara. I'll use Tamara Larry for now. Hopefully it's Tamara. Or it could be Tamara. I don't know which one it is. We'll see when I meet you in person. All right. That'll be awesome. Okay. Now, let's go see what else we got. Oh, by the way, anybody coming to banking, I just discussed. Also, you can stay anywhere you want. That's fine, but I do recommend staying in the Morales area. That would be the better location, in my opinion. All right, let's see what else we got here. I'm going to end this shortly. I'm going to do one last thing. Oh, Jesus Christ. This is unbelievable. Look at this. There is no. This is getting ridiculous. Okay, all I can tell you is do not leave your money with any randos. Do not do anything with any randos. Even somebody that is in business for 50 years, like the prosperity guys who've been in business and no reason to suspect they would rip people off. Look at this newest thing. This is unbelievable. Unbelievable. 2 Tennessee tax preparers charged with filing $65 million in false claims under pandemic programs. I told you guys this was going to keep going and going. This is a gift that keeps on giving for the Department of Justice. This is why I didn't want to mess with none of these PPP loans nonsense. None of this EIDL above what you should rightfully get for you as an individual. I didn't want to get into the businesses when you have employees, and then all of a sudden you find yourself doing crazy stuff like this. Wow. 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 All right, I am very happy. Victor Marrero, when you say your rentals, are you referring to, do you have more than Orlando at Margaritaville? But as we know, see again, I keep telling everybody, why do you want upscale properties? This is why. People that stay at upscale properties are the ones that have the money. They're in the top 10% usually, top 15% of the wealthiest in America. They will pay the $500 per night. That's why again, I've talked about real estate before. If you want to always get a value, you have to have the property that's of value. That's why there's a difference between residential and getting something that's in a project, in a HOA that has amenities. Huge difference. Huge difference. Yeah, Brian, I can't even believe that they're doing this out here. This happened years ago, I'm sure, but I tried to tell people that for 5 to 10 years, depending on statutes of limitations, they were going to be hemming people up from 2021 till 2026. And here we go again. It still ain't over for these guys. This is crazy. 2 tax preparers. Let me go over here so I can put this on screen. Let's get this on screen, shall we? Let's get this up. I'll probably get in trouble for this, but it's all right. Look at this. All right. There you go. 2 tax preparers. Federal grand jury, not a 1044, Nicole Jones 36 or more than 50 counts. You know what? They always make a deal, though, of wire fraud, money laundering, preparing false tax returns, obstruction of justice. Wow. Wow. Pleaded not guilty, of course, which were released on $100,000 court records. Wow, this is crazy. This is crazy. We've gotten delays now. You guys are funny. All right. Is my mic working? Yes, it is. Good. You got that right. The employee retention credit is a refundable tax credit provided tax credits to employers for wages paid, disability, illness, or conditions related to the vaccinations. Right. Walton is all. I knew this was coming. And economic injury, which is the EIDL. I told you this is why I didn't want to do none of that besides the EIDL for everybody here. Everybody kept asking me, do the PPP, do that, do this. I'm like, no, we're not doing that and doing this. Can't do it. All right, we went out. Let's go. What's happening? We got a black screen. Does that mean we're out? No, we're not out. All right. Let's get back. Oh, thanks. I moved back over. How cute. All right. Articles. Brian P. says articles. Yeah, well, that's going to be the last one, man. We're going to wrap it up. Everybody, I thank you so much. I love you guys so much. I appreciate your support over all these years. We no longer will have the members only chat. I got demonetized by YouTube. I knew one day it would happen. No shocker. But they're saying it's because of some reuse, but they're not telling me what the reuse video or whatever it was, the short more than likely or whatever, is wrong. They won't tell me what it is. They just say you're demonetized. No warnings, no nothing. Just woke up and they sent me, you're demonetized. I'm like, okay, that's cute. So, nonetheless, the show still goes on, regardless, because we never did make a lot of money on the channel anyhow, right? You guys already know that. So, we're still here. So, articles, thank you, Eric. I appreciate it. Thank you. And again, I love you guys. I'll see some of you on Monday in the Dominican Republic. All right. Stay tuned. Make sure you're a member of the the WhatsApp group on SSN Nation and Lifestyle. If you're not, please send me an email. Let me know. I'll send you a link. That's one way we can communicate. I'll make our own little chat room while we're there, so then we can always hit up each other, our own little group. So that way that will work. And so nonetheless, have a great Thanksgiving, safe Thanksgiving, enjoy friends, family, loved ones, and enjoy life and be thankful for your life that you're breathing another day to be better than you were the previous day. And with all that said, ladies and gentlemen, you know what else? Reading those articles. I can't anymore, man. It's Thanksgiving. We got to wrap it up. It's late. All right? Make sure you smash the like button. If you like what I was talking about today and what we were talking about, please subscribe to the channel. Click the all notification bell. And once again, I'll say it again. Please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here, but we got to keep moving, ladies and gentlemen. Whatever happens over the next 6 months to a year does not matter. Buy assets that pay you. That's all you need to do. Everything else takes care of itself. And just remember, be safe this holiday weekend. A lot of people get into depression for the holiday weeks, this whole till December as well. Make note of it. All right? There's a lot of people that think differently. And so you never know what's going on. So make sure you just stay calm under all circumstances. You never know what's going to happen. Right? And so all I can say is I do not have something that I need up, but now we do. And so you know what this means. Make sure you keep your head up. Keep moving. And I'm out. Oh, that's cute.